What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, I want to talk about Zhang versus Deontay Wilder. Now, before I get into my video, I want you to listen to some guys who actually support Wilder, but I want you to hear their suggestion for him.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros. Who is most likely to get knocked out in Zhang versus Deontay Wilder? So, reports are that Zhang and Wilder will be fighting on the undercard of Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. It's even possible they'll be fighting each other, but if they're not going to fight each other, the reports are that the goal is that they will fight different opponents on the same card. So here's what Boxing News ED reported, quoting Zhang. Zhang on a potential fight versus Deontay Wilder on the Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou card. Wilder is such a great fighter. I open my arms to welcome that fight. That would be a great bang for the sport of boxing. Don't overthink, man. Let's do it. That's what Zhang had to say about a potential fight with Deontay Wilder. So now, what I'm going to do is turn it over to Trill Dollar Bill. Who is most likely to get knocked out if that fight happens?
Listen, we already know who's most likely to get knocked out if this fight happens. Poor DW. And I'm not talking about Dillian White. I'm talking about Deontay Wilder. Poor Deontay. You know what I'm saying? that's going to be the next slogan. You know what I'm saying? It's poor Deontay. You know what I'm saying? Or poor Wilder. Whatever which one got the better ring to it. Because I'm stay away from Zhang. Stay away from any of these guys in the top 10. Go back to fighting those guys. Go back to being the knockout of the guys who really don't box for a living.
Yeah, go back to the Bum a Month tour, right?
Because
now, I don't need to go any further. This is exactly what I've been saying for the longest time. It's different when you step up in competition, but it all looks impressive to people because, another knockout. But against who? Wilder's style has worked for him up until he got into the ring with Tyson Fury. Could have got a knockout if the ref would have decided to just wave it off. But he didn't. You see what happened when Fury got back up. And that's why they pulled that long count bullshit, because of the simple fact that Fury got back up and started to win the rest of that round, started walking Wilder down. And then when they balance it all out, in the record books, it's a draw and 2 losses for Wilder. So that being said, the Wilder fans would love to be able to say, well, at least he beat 1 out of the 3. Okay, it's all water under the bridge now. But these guys support Wilder. I hear them pull for Wilder whenever he fights. But they're being honest about what they think. Now, we don't know until the fight actually happens. But let me say, before I get into that, everybody's calling out Anthony Joshua. Dubois wants to fight Anthony Joshua. Zhang wants to fight Anthony Joshua. Everybody wants to fight Anthony Joshua, right? Well, of course, Zhang would. Whether they had a history in the past or not, why would you not want to fight AJ? Look at the positions that he's in, especially right now. Okay, he's hot again. So, AJ beat Zhang in the amateurs. So, yeah, he wants to get his win back. He wants to get his revenge. He was asked about, what do you think about AJ not fighting you, but fighting Ngannou? And he didn't say, it really is nothing to really say. He made a choice, and that's boxing. That's just the way it is. He didn't try to shoot AJ down and talk shit like everybody else tries to do. Talk, then get in there and then don't look so good. So basically, for Zhang, I agree with what Zhang said following that. Okay. But I understand this bullshit. And he basically said he just don't understand why these guys are fighting in Ghana. He's not a boxer, he's an MMA guy. And I agree. That's why I said the best thing that can happen out of this with AJ is he goes in there, don't play around, knocking Ngannou the fuck out, put an end to this circus show, collect his money, and we can move on and get these guys in the ring with actual boxers, and this whole bullshit crossover stupid shit just comes to an end. Let's look at how Ngannou's coming off like a champ even if he loses, in which AJ should destroy him. Okay, but even if he loses, look how he's come off like a champ. Because of his MMA reputation and Fury talking him up like as if this was some, Godzilla versus Kong or something. Well, here's a guy on his very first fight ever in a boxing ring. He fights the WBC champion of the world. His second go is against former two-time unified champion of the world. So he skipped the line without having to put the work in, based on reputation's sake from his respective sport. Have nothing to do with him being a boxer. I'm not a fan of that shit. Okay, on the other hand, if someone called, and this is why he can't talk no shit, because you never know what the future holds, right? If he got a call saying, Zhang, we want to pay you $50 million to fight Ngannou, Zhang would be in there too. And any of these other fighters. And so when, that's like, you know what I mean? you can't sit here and applaud it when it's certain fighters. Now, I don't like the fight. I don't care for the fight. But AJ don't have a belt. If Wilder had won the fight, he'd be fighting Ngannou. That's what it would be. And Wilder doesn't have a belt. Tyson Fury is the WBC champion. And pretty much, I don't like the fact that he used the Ngannou fight as a way to not have to fight a worthy opponent. And that fight didn't go nearly as easy as he thought it was going to go. So, that being said, it was really not much to say. He didn't dwell on it, and he just moved on. Now, as far as Wilder, he needs this fight. Wilder's going to end up fading away if he doesn't take this fight. Zhang is already signed, and he's waiting for Wilder, to sign the contract. And we've heard nothing from Wilder. Wilder says several times already he wants to fight 3 times a year. Well, the Saudis is providing you that opportunity. You just got 12 rounds in, so we know you're still in shape. So if you think about what Malik Scott said, Malik Scott was saying he's more concerned about Wilder's health. Yeah, he want to see him fight these guys, and he would love to fight Zhang and all them, but his fighter's mental health is more important. Yeah. And if he's not mentally right, he shouldn't be in there. And, people might feel like I don't understand it because, the guy just lost a fight. True. I see it that way. But Malik Scott is obviously saying that for a reason, right? Either one, he knows something that we don't know about Wilder's actions. He's around him, we're not. Or 2, he's throwing that out there as an excuse to buy some time because he doesn't think Wilder can beat him. Either way, you see what these guys said? I would stay far away from Zhang, go back to fighting guys who really don't box for a living. I've been telling you guys for the longest, this isn't about anybody hating on anyone. Some of you are so childish, you don't even understand. Everybody don't like people or see people the same way that you do. And the thing about it is, especially when you can call something and then it comes into fruition, time after time after time after time, and the same people are still but. There's always a but. There's always a but. So, this is what Wilder has been known for. And I told you, everybody's been so used to Wilder going in there against nobodies, getting the knockout, and then all of a sudden he's the hardest punching heavyweight of all time. He's this, he's that. I'll get into that later too. But now when he has to step up and fight real fighter, why should he have to fight Zhang? I mean, you should listen to these sheep, that the things that they're saying. They're acting like they're really talking like, yeah, it's a secret society. Like they're stacking the deck against Wilder. That's not what's happening. The problem is Wilder fans think that everybody else should have to play, basketball on a 10-foot hoop, but Wilder should have to play on an 8 or 9 foot, whichever one makes him more comfortable. He shouldn't have to play on 10 because he's better playing on 8 and 9. That's the problem with his fanboys, and they don't want to admit it. They're scared to death of his chances of winning against Zhang. And I've been saying it, and I don't think Wilder thinks that he's capable of beating Zhang. What's the holdup with the contract? You said you have a strong mind. You said AJ has a weak mind. Well, AJ bounces back, and every time a fighter loses a fight now, you got to disappear for a year or two. I mean, you're only going to get better by getting back in there. Now, Wilder fighting anyone on a lower level than Joseph Parker doesn't put him back in the ring with AJ. Okay, so let's just say on a scale of 1 to 10, if you fight a guy that's a 7 and you lose to a 7, beating a guy ranked a 6 or a 5 doesn't put you on the level of a 7. No, you have to beat the 7, okay? So you can get to 8 and 9 and 10. Simple. Not, I lost, let me fight a lesser opponent and then skip the line and jump back up. No, that's what was working for him with the PBC. What the Saudis is doing, I love. Why? What did they say? They said that their reckoning card was put together in under a month. This is what these fighters need. Hey, listen, X amount of millions, this is what we're paying. This is the opponent, take it or leave it. They're paying you. They should have the right to pick your opponent. And if you're about that action, well, why would you turn the fight down? Why would you not want it? And outside of Zhang, you got to look at this. The only opponents out there right now that Wilder can beat that would put him right back in the position that he was in, rematch Parker and beat him. Why would you not want to rematch the guy that beat you? I don't get that. Other than I don't think I can beat him. I can't afford another loss. I know, I feel strongly that's the case. The other fighter, Andy Ruiz. Now, both of them are former world champions. Now, Zhang is not a former world champion, but Zhang is a top dog. Okay? Zhang is that third guy. The fourth guy would be Joe Joyce. But Zhang beat Joe Joyce convincingly twice. Why would you fight Joyce, right, over Zhang? Other than, well, I'm coming off a loss. My confidence isn't all the way there. He's coming off of a loss, and I feel more comfortable. That's what that would mean. Otherwise, nah. Like you said, right, it was due to ring rust, inactivity. After you said it, you're not going to blame it on that. That's the excuse you used. Well, you need to keep busy and keep sharp. And for you to be right back on that same card, and you said you had a multi-million dollar deal for multiple fights. They're providing you this opportunity. So the problem with these fighters is they get used to dictating who they're going to fight, and when I'm the A side, I'm this, I'm that. The Saudis are saying, hey man, we're putting out big money, you're going to fight who we're going to fight, who we want you to fight, and we want nothing but the best fights. You said you want nothing but the best fights, so prove it. Now, I don't believe that hardest punching heavyweight history nonsense. I truly don't believe it. I watch him fight, and I look at a fighter's whole arsenal of punches on top of that. And let me tell you, when you look at a fighter's career, yeah, all those 40-something knockouts is cool, okay? 10 title defenses, held the championship for like 5 years or whatever, cool. But when you start talking Hall of Fame, greatest of all time, and all of that, you're going to look at not just how you won, right? But who you did it against and how you looked against quality guys. And that's where he's definitely going to lack, and that's going to be the deciding factor. Because on paper, you'll go, okay, yeah, this dude is solid. Now look at his opponents and who he did this with. And when he stepped in the ring with guys that was top level, he lost. So all the excuses is not going to change the reality. And see, here's the thing with Wilder, right? His career has been cushioned and padded. Now he says, AJ, take all the easy fights. And you have to be completely delusional and just ignorant to even believe that. The fact that he even let that come out of his lips, and it's like, let's compare opponents. And to the few common opponents that they share, see, AJ fought them when he was like 15, 16 fights in, 14, 13 fights in. He won his championship on his, 15th fight or something like that, 15th or 16th fight. Well, it took you years, and to be 38 to finally fight Joseph Parker. It took you years to finally fight Dominic Brazil and stuff like that. So you're fighting guys he fought on the come up, which means he was under 20 fights and still was boom, boom, one fight at a time, collecting belts one fight at a time. So for you to say he took the easy route, that should make a person say, let's compare their opponents. Let's look at their rankings and their skill level. And let's look at what happened. Now, it's easy to tell everybody, I'll knock this guy out, I'll knock that guy out. Now you got to get in the ring and do it. Well, these guys who support Wilder is sitting here saying, I would stay far away from Zhang. Zhang can actually box. Yeah, so the rest of the conversation was pretty much the same thing. Yeah, Wilder's not beating any real fighters. And this is what I've been saying. See, Wilder's fan base helped him. I can see he's a very stubborn guy. Like he wants to do what he wants to do. I can see that. Mark Breland's been telling us that for years. He doesn't listen. Tell him what to do. Even how to throw his punch. Tell him to go jogging. He don't listen. Okay, so he's not doing these things with Mark Breland. The little fake clips they put together, you can just see. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Let me explain something to you. When you do proper leg work, you can do leg work with just body weight. Your calves will be strong and developed. I can see Wilder does nothing. The things he lacked, the things he take for granted, are doing exactly what I said they do. It's going to come back and haunt him. As you step up, you're not getting the knockouts like you was. You're hitting guys that they're not going down like the meatballs before. And it's like, what do I have now? Do I have a second and third gear? Can I rely on my boxing skills? No. See, so all of this pumping his head up, telling him how great he is and how he's the best heavyweight in the world and he saved boxing, all this crazy stuff that his fans tell him. All of that goes to his head. The man's walking around here claiming to be a king and talking about how people are so afraid of him. Now, here's a guy saying he hasn't had the opportunities that Anthony Joshua has had. But at the same time, we witness him in front of a camera. No leaked footage, him getting in front of a camera, putting his nephew in front of the camera and all this. We witnessed him sit on several videos and he's turning fights down. But you're talking about you didn't have the opportunities. Fighting top opposition, it's very, very common for some of the greatest fighters of all time to lose because they're fighting the top opposition. These guys are also great. If Anthony Joshua would have fought everybody that Wilder fought, he'd be undefeated still too. Strongly believe that. I don't see anybody he fought that could beat AJ. Tyson Fury, maybe one day we get to see what happens. But until that happens, and until that's not even the focus now, but Wilder needs this fight. because Wilder, like I said, is going to fade away. He's not going to go out on his shield, so to speak. If he sits back and waits, he's just going to get older. His skills are going to further deteriorate, and it's just going to be a simple thing of him just being passed by. Do you think the Saudis gave this man a multi-fight, multi-million-dollar deal because they thought he was washed up? They thought he was finished? Absolutely not. A lot of people didn't rate Joseph Parker as an elite fighter. They down-talked him. We've heard Bob Arum say the same exact things about Andy Ruiz and tried to downplay him and tried to downplay Joshua, saying Joshua's not elite. Andy can't punch. And yet he's able to knock Joshua down. He exposed Josh. All this stuff that they say. I told you guys, I played the videos. Bob Arum said Floyd Mayweather was the greatest fighter he ever seen. He's greater than Ali. He's greater than Ray Leonard. He's the best fighter since Ray Robinson. I've seen nobody like this kid. Floyd Mayweather is the greatest fighter of all times. All right. That's when he was under his banner. As soon as Floyd left and went elsewhere, all of a sudden now Floyd is shit. Floyd is nothing. Floyd is a runner. Floyd blah, 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 right? Of course. Of course. Now, Wilder basically has always been a one-trick pony. I guess America felt like, hey, man, we need that American heavyweight. Who else is out there? Michael Hunter. He doesn't have enough behind him. And there's no other American heavyweights that you can really look at that has nothing going for them. Nothing. Now, let's put this all on Wilder. He's going to be the guy that we go with. So they push for Wilder. And let's not forget, he had Goosen with him at one time as well. Goosen tried to secure a fight with him, with an elite guy. I think was it Klitschko? Was it Klitschko he tried to get him to fight, and all of a sudden they fired Goosen? Was it Klitschko? I think it might have been Klitschko. But either way, Wilder, like I said, what he's done, what he has in his arsenal worked for him until he started getting there with real competition. It's simple as that. So, in fact, when people were trying to put Ortiz over Parker, now let's look at it this way. Parker's not elite, right? Ruiz wasn't elite, little fat kid, right? All this stuff they said. Yet, Luis Ortiz don't have a better resume than them. Luis Ortiz don't have a better skill set than either one of them. But somehow Luis Ortiz was elite. No, that's the bullshit that Team Wilder put together. He's the boogeyman. Nobody wants to fight him. A guy who's never been champion, a guy who's never done nothing, just been a decent fighter. At the end of the day, there's no way in fuck Luis Ortiz is elite, yet Parker or Ruiz wasn't elite. Then you can't say, well, he never got a chance. Yeah, he did. He fought the most unskilled boxer in the division, which is Deontay. I don't know what kind of punk ass shit y'all used to, but like me, all that going in the ring fearing people, man. I don't care nothing about your right hand. I don't care about your left hand, your foot. I don't care if you had a middle hand. Real fighters train to fight and win and nullify everything about you, go to war, whatever it is we need to do. All of this whole, everybody has a certain, they want to make you a real life superhero. This guy can shoot beams out his eyes. This guy can run at amazing speed. This guy is super strong. Yeah, it all sounds good, but that's movie fighting. That's cartoon. That's animations. This is real life. And Wilder's in a position now where if you're going to fight on these cards with the Saudis, you're going to have to step your game up. Now, if Wilder turns this fight down, what logical explanation can he give? And if he starts coming out now, all of a sudden talking about depression again, or he's not feeling it, he don't have his killer instinct, he just feel like he don't want to go in there right now, he's not feeling it, I'm a happy fighter. Well, then, if that's the case, retire. Because what's going to happen? You'll be 39. still haven't been back in the ring. Then what? You said you wanted to fight until you were 40. So what do you think is going to happen? They're just going to snatch you up and throw you in a title fight? No. It's about earning your keep. And Wilder can't afford to sit on his ass. No fighter can. Zhang is 40. He's older than Wilder. If you don't want to fight Zhang, nobody can pull that, oh, but Wilder's 38. Okay, Zhang's 40. Huh? Look at this guy, Barroso. He's 41. He went in there and destroyed O'Hara Davies in one round. Yeah. Just saying. Not that I think, I don't think much of O'Hara Davies, but point is he went in and did what he had to do. This is the same guy that went in there and got robbed against, in the Rolly Romero fight, which again, and this referee, Tony Weeks, off topic for a minute, man, they should never let this guy referee another fight again, man. What he did to Lawson last night was awful. It's the same, this dude threw like 6 punches, I think 2 punches might have got in, and he missed like 4 or 5, maybe 6 straight punches. And Tony Weeks jumps in and waves the fight off. And I'm like, what is, yeah, that was awful. Tony Weeks, you're a terrible referee. Seriously. Now, back to regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, Wilder needs this fight, man. He needs to fight. Listen, this is boxing, y'all. You know there's a strong sense of entitlement. When a guy loses a fight and a whole community that follows him is saying they should have put him in there with a guy that was out 4 years just like him, or he shouldn't have to fight anybody else to prove himself. They should just make the Joshua fight happen anyway. Oh, the reason the fight's not happening is because AJ and Hearn is running. All these stupid ass excuses. They're like, damn, this isn't the PBC. Now all of a sudden he has to fucking, he has to actually fight real fighters. So you don't know until the fight happens, right? I think Zhang will knock Wilder Spark the fuck out. I don't give a fuck. First off, Wilder can't find the perfect weight anymore. First 214 is his best weight, right? That's his most dangerous, most deadly weight. That's what he said. That's what Malik Scott said. That's what all of his followers said. Then all of a sudden, he looked too skinny. He should have been heavier. He comes in 238. It was too heavy. Everything, every little diva excuse you can think of, those days are over, man. As I said, you don't lose to a 7, then beat a 5 or a 6, and then you back in the 7 column. No, you have to beat the 7 to stay with the 7s. You advance to 8 by beating 7s. You advance to 9 by beating 8s. You advance to 10 by beating 9s. Simple. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. It's not how the PBC was doing it, though. And you heard people that follow him sat there and said he need to go back to fighting bums of the month. He need to stay away from Zhang, go back to looking good, what you guys consider looking good, knocking out guys that don't really box for a living. And let's just be honest, y'all. Look at Luis Ortiz's record. He's another guy, stays out the ring 2 fucking years, then fight another year, then fight 2 years. Another guy who's inactive. So, running your mouth, lying to people and tricking people is only going to get you so far. So it seems like you're on top of the world. Just like that, you're in a position of, damn, it's either sink or swim. And that's the position he's in. It's far more respectable to go in there and fight and lose against a top guy than to go in there, stay out the ring, rather, complain about it, make excuses, come back against a meatball and win. And then hope and pray that you can get a certain spot, and then lie to the boxing community saying fighters are ducking you. You're the one turning down fights with top guys. So if a former champion, is not worth what they're asking for, and then you lie. And I said, you know what, how he could have really did this? Him and Andy Ruiz could have went live. They could have negotiated everything. Then he could have came live and talked about it and made it public. This is what we're fighting for. This is what the deal is. This is what's happening. We're going to make this fight. It's official, right? So we're talking, we're speaking, we're doing this so the public can see. We've already negotiated, it's on. So there's no he said, she said. As far as, look, I'm in, you're in, we're signing the contract tomorrow or whatever day, we're in here. Now, if somebody tries to pull out, it's not about he said, she said. No, you said you want it in. Why are you not fighting now, right? Any fighter can do that. No, all they do is sit back. Man, they don't want this fight, man. Okay, elaborate on that. Why do you say that? Are they telling you no, they don't want to fight? Man, just a lot of things going on, you know what I'm saying, man? People ain't what you think they are, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Man, I'm a king, man. No. Okay. Let me not answer your question. Let me throw a diversion in there and bring up some bullshit. But that's easy to do when you're talking to people that's making excuses up for you as well anyway. You know. At the end of the day, that's what this is about, the best fighting the best. So there's no reason for Wilder to not pen that paper and say, let's get it on. No reason. No reason. You see how I just gave names? If Wilder don't take this fight, right? If he doesn't take this fight, don't be shocked if you hear, and I doubt it'll be in Saudi Arabia. I don't think the Saudis would want this fight. I know I wouldn't. So I don't know. I mean, breach of contract, you know, whatever. If he's not bound, if it was a fight-by-fight basis, I don't know. But if he's, let's just say, if he's able to get away with not fighting Zhang or having another fight and not having it be on the Saudis card, if he turns this fight down with Zhang and he ends up fighting on another network somewhere doing some type of bullshit, whether it's PBC, whatever, don't be shocked if you hear Wilder versus Ortiz 3. He does not want, it's clear, y'all. It's crystal clear. Every man has a brain to think, man, okay, fighting Luis Ortiz, that's another champion that I'll have on my resume. Let me go knock him out. Okay, Parker just beat me. No, I got to get my lick back. No, rematch. Yeah, that's what you do. Okay. And another guy, if he doesn't want to fight Zhang already signed the contract. Okay? So he can't go run to 7-8 Sports and pull some bullshit, man, they don't want this fight. No, Zhang signed it already. They're waiting for you. If he don't want to fight Parker, which he doesn't want to fight Andy Ruiz, then fight Daniel Dubois. I mean, come on. Fight Daniel Dubois. Every excuse that a person can come up with for Wilder, they'll come up with it. He doesn't need excuses. He needs to understand either he's about that life or he's not. Now, let's be real. Let me get to this real quick. Another guy, American heavyweight, who I see potential, but I'm going to tell you, he's slowing his own growth down, and that's Jared Anderson. Because I don't know what it is with this era, but Jared Anderson says he doesn't need belts to validate him. He only wants to fight another 2-3 years. There's other things that he wants to do. He don't even like boxing. So nobody wants to invest in you. Nobody believes in you. And this is probably why your career is moving the way it is. Now, you just fought Charles Martin in your last fight. So you don't need to fight someone a step below Charles Martin. You need to fight people above Charles Martin. No, we don't want to see you fight Adam Kalnaki next. You understand? We don't want to see you fight a Gerald Washington. Those are guys you shouldn't even be in the ring with, to be honest with you. Now, I get Charles Martin was a last-minute replacement, but what I'm saying with Jared Anderson is, looking at the heavyweight landscape right now, if he feels that he's ready, then he needs to plunge. Otherwise, that's what is going to happen. He's going to fight guys like Gerald Washington. He's going to fight guys like that. Arthur Spilker, that's the type of guys he's going to fight. Okay, How is that going to get you to the type of money that you want? Beating guys like that. That's not impressing anyone. You understand what I mean? So right now, you need to be fighting guys like Efe Ajabo. You need to be fighting guys like Frank Sanchez. That's what he needs to do. Step up. It's something about this generation where I don't know, they get some knockouts against some nobodies, and then they talk some shit, start to make a little money, and then they start becoming warriors on Instagram and TikTok and all that bullshit, and then they end up just thinking that they deserve, like they've earned something because their ego tells them that they do. So my point is, Wilder's already 38. If you look now, and if America's going, who's the next American heavyweight that we want to push? Do you really want to waste time or take a chance with Jared Anderson? See, that's what I'm saying. His own words. His own words. So I don't see why a guy like Jared Anderson could sit back right now and look at Deontay Wilder's direction he's going in and understand, I need to be active. I need to step my game up. I don't want to be in that position where I'm cushioned and padded, and then all of a sudden now they're throwing me there with guys that really can fight, and I'm realizing I'm not as good as I thought I was. And that's pretty much what we've seen happen with Wilder. You know, some years ago, just think, at what point did you think the Saudis was going to put cards together like they're reckoning? They were going to get their hand in this, and all of a sudden now boxing is going to be exciting again. No. Prior to the Saudis, all you kept hearing was stupid, ignorant, meaningless conversation. Who's better, PBC or Matchroom? No, I'm pro PBC. No, I'm Matchroom. No, I'm this. I'm ESPN. All this like goofy shit. The Saudis are like, yeah, fuck all that childish shit. Do you want to make this money or no? So it's all on Wilder. Because, like he said, look, he fired Mark Breland, and what did he say? Let me go out on my shield, right? Okay. So if you're going to continue to fight and you call yourself a boxer and this is the life that you chose, right? This is what you want to do. Now's the time to step up. You should have did it years ago, but now is the time to step up. Because like I said, if he does it, he's going to fade away. And it just be one of those things where he never really announced a retirement, but he's just all of a sudden, yeah, Wilder got to be retired by now. I ain't heard nothing from him in 3-4 years. What, he's like 43, 44 now? It'll be one of those things. He'll just fade away. And then he'll jump up 7-8 Sports or whoever he feels more, whichever one of these channels, and then sit there and make every excuse as to he retired because he made enough money. He's a happy fighter. And really, he got turned off by the business because he couldn't get the fights he wanted. AJ didn't want to fight him. This fighter didn't want to fight him, blah, blah, blah. They'll continue to pump his head up about how great he is and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? At the end of the day, you can tell yourself that Fury only beat you because he cheated. You can tell yourself that Joseph Parker basically, well, I felt I won, but the judges gave it to him. Okay, right. Well, you can say all of that. But the reality is, the truth will eat you up because you know better than that. You know no matter what you say. It's like you're trying to convince yourself. So in your heart, deep down in your soul, in your stomach, you know you wasn't as good as people said you was. You wasn't as good as you said you were. Everything that he said about what he was going to do to Joseph Parker, calling himself Dr. Sleep and all this, telling him to get a pillow on the blanket, I heard he get chilly at night and all this. Okay, cool. But when it came time to deliver, Joseph Parker delivered. You didn't. And then now you have an opportunity to rematch Parker or fight Zhang. If Parker wants to do a rematch, if Parker wants to go forward, that's his right. Nobody can say, you sound stupid saying Parker's running from him if he didn't want to fight him. Running from what? He shut him out for 12 rounds and was in no danger, no trouble at no point in the fight ever. Let Wilder tell it. He hurt him several times in the fight, but he just didn't let his hands go. Okay, so for Wilder right now, the decision that he needs to make, and why you think Zhang's saying don't overthink it, man. Let's just make it happen. Why do you think he's saying? Because what's the holdup, man? I already signed. I'm in. You supposed to be the hardest punch in heavyweight history, right? Dr. Sleep. So, yeah. See, I've been around long enough. I've been a part of too many things and just understand things too well to have somebody sit here, with this little young boy talk, thinking that they're telling me something because they're all in their feelings about a fucking fighter. No. Wilder don't want that fight. Wilder is not confident that he can beat Zhang. He's not confident that he can beat Parker. He's not even confident that he can beat AJ, to be honest with you. He's not. He's just not. He always tries to make it sound like he's confident. Look at his own actions. If Anthony Joshua was calling him every type of scary, terrified, chicken shit, whatever, and then all of a sudden AJ gets in front of him and he's smiling and shaking his hand and having nothing but nice things to say, I wish him nothing but the best. No. Jarrell Miller's an asshole, but at least he's consistent at being an asshole. Wilder's sneaky. He's like the Two-Face type. I'm going to laugh in front of you, shake your hand, wish you nothing but the best. Even said it was good to share the room with them. If somebody is such a lying, two-faced, no-good motherfucker, they not who you think they are, remember all the things he said? Why would it feel good to share the room with you? Why would I be happy to see you? Why would I want to shake your hand? I definitely wouldn't be smiling at you. So at the end of that would be like me sitting right here across from Wilder, going, hey, man, I think you were great. No. Yeah, I heard that you should. No, fuck what you heard. You suck as a fighter. You're nothing but a right hand. You have no skills. That's why the fuck you're losing fights. That's what I said. What else you want to know? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to ever take back what I say about any fucking body. But that being said, that's the type of shit that he does. Okay? I don't know this man personally, so it's not like I have a beef with this man. But I'm honest, and if he asked me flat out, how do you rate me as a fighter on a scale of 1 to 10? You're about a 3, man. You're about a 3. That just happened to have a good right hand. You're about a 3. Straight up. You're not even a 4 or 5. Like I said, you're about a 3. Now, at the end of the day, the man had a trainer he wouldn't listen to. He has a trainer that tells him he has a trainer that he can tell what to do and what he's going to do and not going to do. And people keep saying Wilder needs a new trainer. Now all of a sudden he don't need one. Okay, it just took y'all 2 years to fucking see what the fuck I saw 2 years ago, but it's okay. But my thing is, it doesn't matter who trains Wilder. Wilder won't listen. Y'all can go in my archives and go to the community section. I've said it in the video, and I've said it, asked the question in the community section about what trainer would be able to help Deontay Wilder to develop to become a better fighter, right? And, all the names I put up there, I think Emmanuel Stewart might have been one, Derek James or whoever, what I put in terms of it doesn't matter because Wilder won't listen, I think that was like the 4th category. And the majority of the people, they voted it doesn't matter because he won't listen. And this is where, like I said, when you think you're better than what you are, plain and simple, you could be a nasty 3-point shooter, but you don't have an inside game. You could have a nasty inside game, but you don't have a good mid-range or good 3-point shooter. Then you got the complete, you have the complete player. So now what happens when the best teams match up? Your best players, yeah, they're better than everybody else on your team, but they fall short with the competition. So if he's smoking you in practice and his ego's all deflated because, yeah, man, and you guys are pumping him up, you're supposed to uplift each other. But what I'm saying is, if it doesn't click that, okay, I'm the best player on my team, but there's far more better players in the NBA than me. They're complete. I'm not. You see what I mean? So you might be able to get in that inside just as easy as anybody else, But then all of a sudden now when they're shutting you down in defenses, you playing against the better defensive teams, now they're forcing you to take shots you don't really want to take, and you can't hit these shots. You can't hit that mid-range. You can't hit that three-pointer, right? But nobody on your team is able to stop their best players. Now what? I mean, and it can't make it more simple and plain than that. He's in a do-or-die situation, y'all. He really is. Because if he takes the fight and he wins, he's right back in. And that interest with him and AJ is re-sparked to the point of, okay, AJ looks solid. Now he just looks solid, you know. And then all of a sudden now, of course, his fans will praise how much better that Zhang is than Wallin. And look at how he, of course, it doesn't matter. Point is the interest. It will be more interest now. Who the fuck really cares about AJ versus Wilder, really? Like, who? Look at how things went. It's more like just to say the fight happened and then let's see what happens, right? But it's a position for him to. It's a point of him to earn his position back, and the only way you're going to do that is by beating, like I said, the top guys. And to be like I said, you talk. Look, Joe Joyce beat Dubois, right? So that's what I said. Outside of Andy Ruiz, Joseph Parker, and Zhang, well, yeah, the next best available guys would be Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois. Now, I think personally, that Frank Sanchez will beat Daniel Dubois. I think Frank Sanchez will beat Joe Joyce. I actually believe that Frank Sanchez can beat Joseph Parker and Andy Ruiz also. Flat out. The thing with that is, let's say he fought Frank Sanchez, and I think Frank Sanchez beats Wilder. Straight up, I think he beats Wilder. But let's just say if Wilder was the fighter Frank Sanchez, which I doubt very seriously that that's going to happen, but let's say if he fought Frank Sanchez and he won. Boxing purists understands Frank Sanchez is a solid fighter. He's a problem for any one of them fighters. But because of his lack of popularity and the fact that he has not beaten a top-level guy yet, it's not going to put him where he wants to be. Like beating Parker will put him back to where he was, or Ruiz, or Zhang. Beating Frank Sanchez isn't going to do that for him. You understand what I'm saying? Even though I don't think he beats Frank Sanchez. Straight up, I think Frank tears his ass up, flat out. He's too skilled for Wilder. Simple. Now, one trick pony Wilder is going to have a tough time beating any top level guy. So now where Wilder stands is he either tuck his tail and retire. Because if he wants to continue to fight and do what those guys suggested, go and fight these guys that don't really box for a living, just these, well, what does that do for him? And if you can waste your time training just for a bunch of junk fights with guys who aren't worth a shit, that doesn't put you in title contention, and it shouldn't. Do you understand what I mean? Especially when you have rankings. Well, what the fuck does the ranking system mean if you can get a title shot and you haven't beaten anybody in the top 3? You understand what I mean? So what's the purpose? Now, for any sanctioning body that ranks Wilder, if you put him in your top 5, right? And the Saudis say, okay, we want to make this fight happen. We want to do this, we want to do that. And let's just say he doesn't want to fight the guys I just named. Well, who in the fuck does he want to fight? Who is it that you want to see him fight? Who is it that you will accept him fighting that's not a top-level guy? And why would you? What's the point? And if you have the understanding that he's going to have to fight a top-level guy in order to elevate, then how could you, for one, be that childish and ignorant to have a problem with that? when every other fighter on the card has to do the same thing. Let's give him a special, let's give him a special request, whoever he wants to fight. But everybody else has to fight whoever we put in front of them. No, that's not how it goes. And if Zhang wasn't injured, Wilder would have even been fighting Parker. Zhang would have. So, Zhang's been out with an injury. Same way. Wilder, you just fought. So, if he, like I was saying, he's in a position where he take the fight and he lose. And I know, yeah, his fanboys gonna hurt because they're gonna have in their mind, I know these motherfuckers is gonna see, I told you, he fought another top level guy and lost. But that's the least of his worries. Okay, because the thing is, if it's not, he's like you said, he has enough money, right? He's doing fine with money. Okay, cool. If that's the case, then you had no reason to tell Andy Ruiz that he's asking for too much money. And that's my point with the hypocrisy, how he sets himself up. You're saying you made smart investments, you made a lot of money outside of boxing, you don't even need boxing. You said that, he said that like 2 years ago. And he's saying it now. So then why are you penny pinching Andy Ruiz? You also are the same guy that's speaking like you're the advocate for boxing, in their awareness, to bring awareness that fighters need to be properly compensated. We putting our lives on the line, and people don't understand the struggles we go through, breaking down, crying because of fighters getting damaged in the ring, and how a man is never going to know what it's like to be a father and all that. Okay, yeah, here's a man that is a former champion, wants to fight you, and you're sitting there telling him he's asking for too much money. And he flat out said, man, I didn't ask this man for no 20 million. Man, he's lying. And said, okay, and told you make an offer. You send me an offer. Let's make that happen. Wilder and his team made no effort at all to make an offer to Andy Ruiz. So you can't be truly concerned about people's well-being. And here's a man that has a family to feed just like you, and you're trying to penny pinch. So all this talking about how much money you've made and investments that you've made, and you got millions without boxing, so you don't even need boxing. Not to mention the millions you just picked up for getting your ass whooped by Parker, right? So that's my point. So the money's there. You just don't want to fight Ruiz. And this is my point. If you don't want to fight Ruiz, you don't want to rematch Parker, and you still haven't signed the contract to hold up your end of the bargain to say, let's get it on, Zhang, well then, give us the reason that you haven't. Because I think you're chicken, plain and simple. This is not what he's used to, and it's not what his fans is used to. Simple. It's just not what they're used to. So, if you don't want to fight Ruiz, you damn sure don't want to fight Zhang. And this is where people are starting to now finally wake up and smell the goddamn coffee and say, yeah, Wilder, you've been tripping all this time. We've been sitting here riding with you, but man, you making us look bad. Goddamn, we running out of excuses, man. And these are the guys that then got turned off by him, because it's like, damn, every time this man loses, it's some conspiracy theory. It's some ridiculous nonsense. Y'all saw what I posted, right? There's a secret society in boxing trying to take out Wilder, okay? Right? All this nonsense. Like I told you, he was never a great boxer at all. He's not even a decent boxer. Okay? He's a puncher that has the heart to get in there once he's in there with whoever he feels comfortable fighting and fight. Once he's in there, yeah. But again, he can't handle simple tactics. And like I told you guys, and I'm saying it again, Joseph Parker's going to fight somebody, and you're going to see it's the same Joseph Parker. He did not get better. He's not as good. This is not the best he's been. No, he's been consistent. He's been fighting, and he just happened to go in there and whoop Wilder's ass. He's always a better fighter than Wilder. Everybody's a better fucking boxer than Wilder. Well, that's not hard to be. But Wilder's typical style of waiting, laying back, losing rounds, and then landing a punch and getting you out of there, like I said, guys, what do you think trainers tell their fighters? Don't depend on just power. I don't know what some of these fucking other trainers that spread around the globe is doing, but when I don't see results in their fighters, better results, and when I hear these guys speak, and you can really understand, they don't even understand boxing. And if you notice, you never hear Wilder talk and express any boxing knowledge because he doesn't have it. He's just a puncher, and it's not even his hooks, his uppercuts, right? It's just his right hand. He doesn't even jab the way he used to. He used to consistently throw that jab, and that's all he did all day was just jab right hand, jab right hand. He will throw an uppercut. He will throw a lazy ass. He doesn't even know how to throw a hook. He doesn't even turn his punches over properly. When he throws his uppercuts, he smothers them. And he throws one at a time. He doesn't throw combinations. So he fights like a fucking novice. How could y'all be so shocked and not understand that? Yeah, now he's stepping up in competition. It's going to be very hard for him to get away with that kind of shit now. And that's my point. So you can't go back and undo what you've done already. But it's either you want the fight or you don't. Now, if he was to beat Zhang, you see what that would do? Know what that does for him? It puts him right back. It puts him right back. Now, let's say the timetable works out to where it doesn't work out where him and AJ fights after that. Guess what? Hey, what about rematching Joseph Parker? He beat you. Do you understand what I'm saying? He don't have to rematch Zhang because there's no title on the line. He doesn't have to rematch Parker. But bottom line is, if he beats Parker, he was in line for bigger and better things than Parker was. Because Parker beat the fight. Is anybody talking about what's next for Parker? No. Everybody's still talking about who? AJ and Wilder. Even though Parker won, how many people's talking about Parker? No. And what they're talking about as far as Wilder is not good. They're talking about the ridiculous excuses. Okay? And the continuation of the bullshit. That's what's being talked about. That's not good. But that's what he's given us. So, yeah, Wilder needs to make a decision, man. Either you're a happy fighter, you're comfortable with your money, you don't have your killer instinct no more, all that, or either you still want this and this warrior that you keep saying you are, you're gonna tap into it, and you're gonna go in there and fight Zhang, win, lose, or draw, and walk out that motherfucker with your head up high. But he knows if he loses to Zhang, it's a fucking wrap. Because now that's 3 top fucking tier fighters that have beaten you. And it's no coincidence now as to why you lost to Fury and to Parker. Okay, and let's not forget too, this was a fat Fury coming back fighting, two guys and then got in there with Wilder. And Wallin was one of them. No, that was before Wallin. It was before Wallin, my bad. I just got crossed by thoughts, but no, that's before Wallin. But bottom line is, you went in there with these guys and you were a cherry pick for Fury. People don't remember this because Wilder can't box. Fury knew that. But also they knew that Fury was inactive. Came back and just had two tune-up fights. And he ended up doing what? Jumping in there with Wilder. So they were both cherry picks for each other. It just worked out better for Fury than it did Wilder. That's all. And so when he fought Wallin and got cut, and everybody was, oh shit, see, Fury was exposed. And I keep telling people, y'all love to use that word exposed. If y'all listen to what I say in my videos, it's clear that, damn, Aries was saying the same shit a year ago, 2 years, 3 years. We're just catching up to this shit. I've been saying for the longest, man, when you fight different styles, you fight different guys that actually can fight, you will see that, yeah, you go in there and they catch you slipping, anybody can lose. But when you are consistent with fighting top guys, this is why do you think fights between Holyfield and Riddick Bowe were so great? Because these were top guys. The Michael Moore's, David Tua's, all these different guys these guys wanted to fight, man. This whole shit now, this dealer shit of we will fight under one condition, and all of a sudden they got 25 conditions. They don't want to fight, man. So Zhang wants to fight. And you know the thing is, Zhang is the most calm motherfucker. Zhang just talks. He answers his questions. His translator says, you know, and he doesn't have anything negative to say. He just says what he's going to say. He answers the question. Zhang just wants to fight. So, you know what will be interesting for Wilder fans, though? For them that like to keep going on his page, telling them how much they love him and how great he is. And, you know, I'm pretty sure he don't respond. But it'll be nice for people to say, hey, Wilder, what's the hold up with Zhang? Why haven't you signed yet? Are you going to take the fight? Because you see, when you jump in front of a camera to complain, when you jump in front of a camera to point the finger and put blame on people, and Wilder always was the one saying, at the end of the day, your manager worked for you. You're the boss. So if the fight don't happen, it's because of the fighter. Well, you said it. So he needs this fight. If, like I said, if not Zhang, then it needs to be Parker or Ruiz. It needs to be one of them. And Zhang is hotter than Dubois, and he's hotter than Joyce. Because even though, okay, Dubois went in there, what Dubois did by beating Big Pharmacy, Big Car Dealership Miller was he proved I have it in me to fight and not quit. That's all. And pretty much Miller, one trick motherfucking pony coming there just depending on, he basically just depended on his weight and his size to just keep coming in and thought he was going to wear down Dubois. The motherfucker was barely throwing punches for like the first 4 or 5 rounds. And when he see that wasn't working, he's throwing these wild, slow winging shots like he always does. But because he's naturally so much heavier, you know, the guy's 330 pounds. Dubois came in at 231. He made Dubois look small. You understand what I mean? So, yeah, it's because he's so huge is why he's able to absorb the blows better than a guy smaller than him, because look at head's like that big. You understand what I mean? So that's all it was. And that shit didn't work. And I said Dubois should pick this motherfucker apart. No, size ain't everything. No. That's why when people talk about Fury size, I'm like, man, size is not everything. It's how you use your gifts. That's what it comes down to. That's why I compared Nikolai Valuev to Fury. Why? Nikolai is taller than Fury and he's heavier than Fury. Ask anybody who you think will win, Valuev or Fury. 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to hear Fury. Because, you know, Nikolai Valuev's family members ain't going to vote for Fury. Because that'll be the only motherfuckers saying Nikolai Valuev. But for Wilder, and see, understand, he can't outbox Dubois. He can't outbox Frank Sanchez. Okay? He showed against Parker, the movement, just those subtle movements, those, you know, and throwing the right hand over top, you know, leaning away out of position and coming up. He couldn't find anything. He couldn't make any adjustments at all. Just like how Dillian White couldn't make any adjustments against Fury. So when you see, and this is what I mean with their limitations, and if you remember, go back to the archives, and I was comparing Dillian White to Wilder, and I said, I feel like between the two of them, White, he has more, he's craftier than Wilder, but he's defensively irresponsible often. It's easy to catch White with shots at times. Like White just, he gets careless, and it's not like it's some huge difference between the two of them, to be honest with you. It's just, see, White tries to knock you out when you throw punches too, but White is pretty much, if he fights at a slower pace, he fights better. if you push White, he wings shots and throws sloppy punches as well. And so the thing is, if you don't push White, he's more poised to, like, you know, he'll box better and pace himself. Okay. And he's better at being able to land clean shots and get shots in than Wilder is. But there's no clear winner. Why? Because again, White gets careless. So I could see White outboxing Wilder. I could see Wilder letting his ego get the best of him, trying to knock him out with every punch, and White doing the same thing, which means basically somebody's getting knocked out in that fight. You understand? And I can't really pick a clear winner. But, and it's not like he can't get knocked out with a different punch, but White has been knocked out with uppercuts. We won't have to worry about him getting knocked out by uppercut with Wilder. Okay? But the thing with that fight is, what they both have in common is, you see what happens when you get in there with top guys. Like, look, AJ already knocked White out. People forget that. But he hurt him. Okay, it's boxing. Yeah, and so, yeah, White looks better when he boxed. Like, for example, when he fought Derek Chisora was holding his own. You understand what I mean? And like, this is what I'm saying. Like, Dillian White fighting against guys, even if they throw hard punches, but if they fight in spurts, things like that, he looks better. If you push White, he gets sloppy. And he couldn't figure out how to fight Fury. And that showed me that his IQ, exactly what I'm telling you, his ring IQ, he's one-dimensional. See, he doesn't know how to create openings. He doesn't know how to be, he doesn't have that cerebral, that instinct of knowing what to do, find the range. No, with White, he just throws punches. And see, the thing with White is, I'm watching him, and I'm like, yeah, White's gotten to the point now where, and he was saying the same thing, talking about how he don't come to box and dance around, I come to fight. See, he limit himself. And then you've seen White's skills starting to deteriorate. This is what I'm saying. So there's no clear winner between him and Wilder. He's missing in action right now. You understand what I mean? So, you know, with the drug test, he failed, and we haven't heard a peep from him. So basically, White might be done, and I don't respect drug cheats. So my point is, what I'm getting at is, even if White was available, White just struggled with Frank Martin. You know, and people applauded the fight because of the effort, but AJ went there and shut him down. Yet you had people saying they think White would beat AJ. And I was laughing because I'm saying, man, these guys hate AJ so much that, or they doubt him so much that they just think AJ can't beat anybody, right? Even though he's winning, right? With the exception of the Usyk fight, right? So I'm saying, okay, cool, no problem. When it was time for AJ and White to fight, and he failed his test, what was even the majority of British people saying? Does anybody really care about that fight, though? So how all of a sudden would White versus Wilder be, oh, this is going to be special? No, that's my point. After White, the way he looked against Tyson Fury, it really turned my stomach. Because he didn't try to do anything different. He did nothing. And then he made that stupid video when he's driving in his car. He looks at the camera and then smiles. And it was like, this dude is a clown, man. You know, there's no need to make excuses. No. All of that shit that he talked. And then when they was talking about, when Daniel Dubois called White out, and Dean White said that was disrespectful. How is it disrespectful? It's disrespectful because Dubois is not on White's level. Right, let you tell it he's not. You won't know until they fight, right? Now when you look at Dubois and you look at White, I bet you a lot of people think Dubois would beat White now. You see, but that's my point. And this was after the Franklin fight, before the Fury fight. It's disrespectful. He put White on some pedestal. White's never been heavyweight champ of the world. Has some bullshit diamond belt or whatever he did, some trophy belt, but he's never been champ of the world. Why is it disrespectful? It was okay for him to fight Joe Joyce. It was okay for him to fight Usyk, who's the champ of the world, but not Dillian White. You see what I mean about how people, they say things and fans of these people back them up on that. What sense did that make? He fought Usyk, but not White. He's not ready to fight White. No, I think Dubois knocked Dillian White, sparked the fuck out. Okay? So, that being said, Wilder should not want his name associated with people like, you should have fought White when White was hot. That's my point. That's my point. So for you to fight White now, and the thing about it is the way Wilder looked, might fuck around and lose to Dillian White. And I think you'd rather lose to Zhang than to Dillian White at this point, because White just, to me, it's like he just reduced himself to a fucking tuck my head and just throw bombs. And that's what he tries to do. He tries to knock everybody out. Okay. That being said, y'all, Deontay and Zhang need to be on this next card with AJ and Ngannou. For Deontay Wilder to not sign his contract, it leads me to believe that in his mind, he was focused on the money, but wasn't paying attention or thinking about the fact that, no, they're not going to let me handpick who I want. They're going to tell me who I'm fighting. And this is our pay. Take it or leave it. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so glad. And you know what's so funny? Because out of all the names, I harped on Zhang more than anybody else because Zhang is hot. Why would you not want to fight Zhang? And the fact that he hasn't signed the contract, you didn't have a problem jumping on the video to tell everybody how you felt like you let people down. If you know, sorry, you let people down. It just wasn't your night. You know, you talked about you still happy, you still spreading peace and love and all that. And then the following day, you go on 7-8 Sports and whine and cry, literally cry. Made excuses up. They made excuses for you. And you just had a whole bunch of nothing to say. It just sounded like a bunch of weed smoking, street corner hanging motherfuckers just sitting around just talking bullshit. Like somebody that's just out of work, just sitting around bitching about life, or just came home from jail and still got the fucking thing on their ankle, just sitting around that's what it sounded like. You know, making fun of the fact, I mean, you couldn't make any fun of AJ at all. But you sitting there talking about how he was happy that you lost and right, all of that. Okay. Guess what? Andy Ruiz flat out said, you talking about AJ, right? But notice how he's not bringing up any details about Andy other than this shit about him saying is he begged the Saudis to fly him out. They flew him out and then saying Andy was talking all this shit, but when Andy saw him, he didn't say anything. Bro, you just got your ass whooped. And Andy Ruiz, you saying AJ and Hearn was happy that you lost. Well, guess what? Andy Ruiz flat out said, I was so glad that Wilder lost because he talks a lot of shit, always telling him he'll knock everybody out, but then he doesn't fucking fight anybody. So I was pulling for Parker to win. I'm so glad. I'm proud of him. I'm so glad he beat Wilder. Okay. Notice how he didn't talk about Andy Ruiz other than just talking the shit about how when Andy saw him, he didn't say anything. What was Andy supposed to do? Come punch you in the face? I mean, what was he supposed to do? You and Andy both talk shit about everybody. You know, Andy is more like he talks shit about him. He wanted to fight AJ. Everybody's AJ. Right? But he also wants to fight you. Right? And you don't want to fight him. So, in closing, if he's not going to fight Andy Ruiz, which he already made it clear he don't want to fight Andy Ruiz. Okay? If he doesn't want to fight Joseph Parker, which he already made it clear he don't want to fight Joseph Parker. So that's 2 ducks right there. And we know Andy Ruiz had hurt his shoulder, but this was after. He's been constantly calling out Wilder, and Wilder rejected him. So that's 2 ducks right there. Okay? I don't think he feels comfortable that he can beat Daniel Dubois. Joe Joyce. He's a guy that he could fight. But wait. Dubois just won his last fight. But Joyce beat him. Okay. Either one of them would be okay. Big Bang just beat Joyce twice. So you want to fight the best and you want to prove that you are who you say you are. Don't worry about any other name. Zhang already signed the contract. Like he said, don't overthink it. Let's just fight. He's ready to go in there and put his skills to the test. Your minions won't be able to save your career. They won't be able to alter your legacy. And whatever is important to you about your career and your lifestyle, that's solely on you. But what you shouldn't do to yourself and what you shouldn't do to your fans, because you got the weirdest fans I ever saw. And I think they would literally jump off a cliff for you because you can do no wrong in their eyes. What you should not do is make some bullshit excuse and lie as to why you and Zhang aren't fighting. Don't blame it on no fucking mental health issues. Don't blame it on no fucking father time. Don't blame it on no fucking ring rust. It ain't because you're 38 years old. Don't blame it on none of that shit. This ain't go Fury took a lot out of Wilder. And, and yeah, I know people always say that. But like I said, the second he knocked out Robert Helenius, the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder is back. He is back and better than ever, blah, blah, blah. Then you disappear for a whole year and you constantly shut down and reject Andy Ruiz, who's been calling you out. Now, don't blame it on none of that shit. I don't want to hear nothing about you lost your fire. You don't know if you want to, you don't know if you still got the fire and all that shit. No, your killer instinct and all. I watched you stand in that post conference and contradict yourself. You said 1 minute, well, if not, you know what I'm saying? I might want to fight again, but if not, it's been one great ride. I want to thank y'all for taking a ride with me. I want to go home to my beautiful daughter. Talk about, my daughter's birthday tomorrow or whatever it was today or whatever it was. And all that. Then you turn around and talk about, you get for your services and you going to continue to give your service. Then you turn around and say, well, I think we got a little bit left. Then you turned around and said, you definitely coming back. It's like, God damn. See, I watched you take a loss and you didn't take it well. And that's why immediately the very next day you was on 7-8 Sports with them excuses. Don't do yourself or your fans a disservice. Mike Tyson came out after he got his ass whooped that last fight and he said, I don't have a heart for this anymore. And I'm not going to disgrace the sport of boxing like this. No disrespect, but to lose to this type of opposition, I'm just going to retire. I'm just doing it for the money. I need the money. That's what he said. Now, that probably hit hard to his fans because, damn, they watch Mike go from making all this. And I don't get all that because I am not interested in how much money people have. I mean, more power to you, but I'm into the fights, okay? But he came clean with that, okay? Because plain and simple, that's what it came down to. He bit Holyfield, not once but twice, because he was getting his ass whooped and he knew, I can't beat this motherfucker. Nah, fuck that. Oh, he kept headbutting me, all this shit. I can show you Razor Ruddock fight, Quick Tiller's fight. I can show you several fights where Mike's headbutting people, hitting them low, shouldering them, throwing elbow. Yeah, but when Mike made those excuses and lies up, his minions to this day continue to make that lie about headbutts. What have I told y'all before? I've sat down with 3 people, 4 people, 5, and show me the headbutts. Now, we ain't gonna see him talk. Shut the fuck up. Watch the go. I want you to show me the headbutts. And they all sitting there looking stupid. And you know what the realization they came to? Mike was the one initiating the headbutts, not Holyfield. And the referee, Mills Lane, let him know that as well. Okay. When he lost to Lennox Lewis, he gave Lewis his props. Wasn't much to say. And shortly after that, he wound up a couple of years later, like I said, going there and getting his ass whooped by guys that he normally should have destroyed, right? So my point is, we've seen this guy who was devastating at one point. We've seen him at his best and we've seen him at his worst. Okay, remember that time when he fought, he was like, my back is broken. Jim Gray said, when you say I broke my back. Well, when you say you broke your back, what do you mean? Spinal. Remember that shit? And people was laughing at him and making fun of him, right? Okay. It can't always be when you win. God is good. See, I'm a warrior, but when you lose, it's an excuse. Okay? You need to be honest, because if you was fighting some meatball and you knocked somebody out in the first round, we wouldn't have heard anything. If you would have knocked Joseph Parker out, we wouldn't have heard anything about, I don't know if I still have my fire. I'm a happy fighter. Do you hear your own words? I'm a happy fighter. I don't have that killer instinct. When I had that killer instinct, nobody stood a chance. So did you have your killer instinct when you fought Fury? And you fought him 3 times. So which fight didn't you have your killer instinct in? Yeah, so I'm just saying. First fight with Bermans Vern, he survived. He made it to the 12th round. Did you not have your killer instinct then? Yeah, we seen you fought him like an accordion in the rematch, as you were supposed to. Great job. But again, Bermans Vern was never shit anyway. We know how he got the belt. We seen the Chris Arreola fight. Chris Arreola was a guy who was a contender, had potential but never evolved and basically just fell the fuck off. You understand? He always had some type of skill. Always had some type of skill. But he just never evolved. And after the Klitschko fight, when he lost and you just watched him and you seen him just deteriorate. But guys that can box can always find something in them. They can tap into this, because the skill is there, but it's always something else missing. The heart, the will, something is not there. Sometimes fighters fail at something and they go through this mental thing and they start questioning themselves. We know Andy Ruiz, he said that he's in the best shape of his life. You see him look leaner, then come in, ring rust, yeah, same thing. So Andy Ruiz made excuses when he don't look his best, when he struggle a little bit, whatever. Just be real. Don't do a disservice to yourself or your fans. If you beat Zhang, it's going to be the same way you always do it. Getting your ass whooped and land the right hand. I personally think Zhang will knock you the fuck out. I think Zhang will beat you the fuck up. I think he will hurt you. You're too light in the ass. You're too desperate. He'll telegraph that right hand because he know that that's what you're going to bank on is your jab, your right hand. You don't have the arsenal. You're not clever enough. And Zhang can fucking box and you can't. Zhang make you go night-night. So Dr. Sleep really will be literally your name. But just do yourself the justice by saying, listen, y'all, should you take this fight and get your ass whooped? Zhang is just the better man. Flat out. That's all. Don't bring up no ring rust, no inactivity, nothing. Nothing. I was too light. I was too skinny. my costume was too heavy. Somebody put the hoojuice on me. I don't think he had padding in his glove. I think Zhang had an egg. Don't say none of that shit, man. Nothing. Don't go on 7-8 Sports the next day. I think he put some Chinese voodoo on me because, he said something in the ring. I like alcohol or something, and then all of a sudden, man, I couldn't move. Don't make no excuses. Just simply say the better man won. Either retire or get back in the gym. Before you sign this fight, think to yourself, am I ready to go in the gym and start to now learn the things that I've been neglecting to learn all my career? Or am I lying to myself? I'm just going to continue to do the same things. I'm not sure I can beat Zhang. In fact, I don't even think I can beat him. And after he knocked me the fuck out, I already got excuses embedded in my head. So what is it going to be? And if you don't take the fight, you need to be honest about why you didn't take the fight. Now, let me say this, and I don't have to, but I'm going to, because I got to be real. Deontay Wilder fans, some of you, now, I'm nobody's fan, and I could never call myself, I'm a fan of these boxers. No, I'm not. I respect people. I respect what they do. I appreciate watching good scraps and all that. Okay, but I don't look up to none of these guys. I don't look up to none of them. Okay? They're a bunch of rich, egotistical, self-centered motherfuckers. I don't care how much you might like a fighter, but you see how they carry themselves. Rich people don't think like non-rich. Believe me, they're different. You think they're better than you are. But this isn't something that I take to heart. I don't know Deontay Wilder. So I don't like him personally or dislike him personally. I don't know him. I do understand that he lies often. He's delusional. He makes things up in his head and then tries to make himself and then makes himself believe it. He's self-centered. He thinks everything is supposed to be the way that he wants it. He walks around calling himself a king, right? Hell, my nickname is King Fang. I'm the king of me. That shit came from battle rapping though. And I was beating everybody. He's the king. I come in the door, King Fang. So I like, yeah, whatever. So just to let y'all know, that's where that comes from. So yeah, that's what that was my rap name. Okay, got it on my arm. But what I'm telling you guys, with all the excuses, all the babying, all the favoritism that he's used to getting, he falls apart when he doesn't get it. Just understand, plain and simple, you can make all the excuses you want. You can make all the comparisons you want. All these little silly analogies. If he doesn't take this fight, it's a clear duck, because the Saudis are saying, we're paying you well, and this is the fight we want for you. So either he's going to do it or he's not. For somebody to say they want to fight 3-4 times a year, and here you have people providing that for you, that you can, hey, this should be fight number 2. Just like that, 3 months apart. For you to not take it, be honest as to why you didn't take it. No excuses. Reason why you didn't take it. If you take it and you win, we don't want to hear nothing about nothing. Don't see, I just didn't have my fire when I fought Joe. No, Joseph Parker was just the better man. That's all. Against saying I was the better man tonight. That's all. No excuses, no bullshit. But if you take this fight and you get knocked out, like I know you will, just be a man about it. And I'm saying this right now because every time this dude loses is an excuse. And I know that his fanboys will find any little stupid excuse to make for him. It's not going to change the reality of what's what. It's not going to change the outcome. Just understand, it's called now Deontay is finally stepping up in competition. Since the Fury fight, this right here against Parker was his second top level fighter fight of his whole career. If he fights Zhang, that'll be number 3. So when you look and say the 3 times he stepped up to fight actual top tier guys, he lost. The history books will have that. When you analyze his career, that's going to be the difference maker in how they see him. You cannot put this man in the same sentence with a Mike Tyson, a Larry Holmes, a Muhammad Ali, a Joe Louis. You can't put a Marciano. You cannot put him in that same sentence. Plain and simple. You can't put his name with theirs. You can't even put his name with George Foreman's. You can't put his name in it. He has no Joe Frazier, Ken Norton type guys on his whole resume that he can say he won against. His best fighters, okay, his Joe Frazier or Ken Norton is Parker and Fury. And we see how that went. Exactly the point that I'm saying. He has no wins against any elite fighters whatsoever. So, it doesn't matter. I'm saying everything I need to say. You always have a Wilder fan that want to come in and keep making comments about Wilder to try to make a point that means nothing, because at the end of the day, okay, I'm speaking nothing but facts. And for my opinion that I'm speaking is my opinion. But the reality of him and Zhang, this fight need to happen. Well, if he doesn't want to fight Zhang, yes, it's a clear duck, the same way how he's ducking Parker and the same way how he's ducking Andy Ruiz. And people don't want to fucking admit it, but that's what he's doing. And the way I see it, if you don't want to honor the contract, you don't want to, like you said, you had a multi-million-dollar fight, multi-million-dollar contract for a multi-fight deal. That's what you said. Well, you only fulfilled one. You said you want to continue to give your services, right? That's what you said. You're taking your time. And people just want to know that you're not going to back out of this fight. And like you always say, I'm a warrior, Now, I'm always, I want to fight nothing but the best. You have the opportunity. Your words was, you didn't have the same opportunities that AJ had. You didn't say the same opportunities that Fury had, the same opportunities that Parker had, or anybody else. Andy Ruiz, and you stablemates with Andy Ruiz at the PBC. You didn't say that. You brought up specifically Anthony Joshua. You said Anthony Joshua was manufactured. That's what you said. But yet, same guys that that Anthony Joshua got in there and fought, you are avoiding. And just for the record, AJ beat Zhang in the amateurs, so he's actually fought him before. Okay? He's fought Dillian White in the amateurs and in the pros. He beat Joe Joyce in the amateurs. So he's actually been in the ring with these guys. You are the one who haven't. As a pro, you still haven't did any of that. Okay. You've yet to fight Usyk. Fury doesn't want to fight AJ. I don't care about these little stupid videos he made because he says a whole lot of nonsense. Fury needs to focus on Usyk. So yeah, you said you didn't have the opportunities. The Saudis provided you that with Parker, someone that you finally fought now. Only because of the Saudis. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have called Parker out. Then you said you definitely feel Parker was ducking you because we could have fought such and such, but you know, back when he was champion, but you and your team never made an offer to Parker. So even if he didn't make an offer to you, you didn't make an offer to him either. So how was he ducking you? And your words was, everybody knows the only belt that matters is this green WBC green belt. This is the most prestigious belt. Them other belts don't matter. That was your words and your excuse to not want to fight for Undisputed. And that's what that was. And I just have to bring the truth and remind people of what came out of your mouth and the actions that you made. So now let's see if you're going to have any change. Let's see if you're going to walk down that yellow brick road and ask the wizard for some heart so you can go in there and fight Zhang. Because I still don't understand why Dr. Sleep, Mr. I'm not afraid of anybody, has yet to sign this contract. Come on, y'all. We just being honest here. This is a fight that he needs. If he really truly wants to fight AJ or Usyk or another fight with Fury or whoever is holding the belts, if he really wants that, this is the type of competition he has to fight and win against. Not, yo, put me in there with a meatball, let me try to get hot again that way, and then hopefully some kind of way I'm wave my magic wand and end up in a title shot, just for namesake alone. That's not what this is, y'all. And I know if it wasn't AJ fighting Ngannou, they'd be trying to make it happen with him, with Wilder. And let's be honest, if Wilder truly feels like Ngannou really held his own, like if he really thinks that Ngannou's as good as people are saying, he might not have fought Ngannou either. That's the whole thing. Because out of all these guys, Wilder is the one that has been cushioned and protected. So we can't even say that he would have fought Ngannou. I just think he's jealous that AJ is fighting the guy that he claimed he wanted to fight. And that's why I say, why is it every time Wilder say he wants to do something, it doesn't happen? But there's never any talks or proof of him negotiating, sending an actual contract, doing something legit. It's always him just word of mouth. I want to fight this person, but it never happens. So, as I said, I don't think, and I really hope the Saudis wouldn't sink to that level just to try to make him happy and try to give him a third fight with Luis Ortiz. Because to be honest with you, only in Wilder's mind and Wilder fanboys' mind is Luis Ortiz relevant at any point right now. And even, going back to the first time they fought, nobody was ever talking about no goddamn Luis Ortiz. And it was Wilder who called that motherfucker the Boogeyman. Wilder himself. He gave him that nickname, the Boogeyman. And look at Luis Ortiz's accomplishments and you see that guy barely fights. And pretty much, let's not forget, Eddie Hearn sent the contract, term sheet, in the contract to Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz turned that shit down to fight Wilder. Now, we all remember that, don't we? And this is the same man, okay, Wilder, who said AJ takes all the easy fights. Remember when Jarrell Miller told him, we know you're not going to, you scared to fight Wilder and all that. Remember he was saying all that? And he was like, said that AJ ain't fight nobody. And then AJ said, I was going to fight you. Yeah, I know. Okay. Right, but you went to the pharmacy and got caught. So ain't it ironic, like I said, all of the big mouths got their ass kicked at their reckoning. The guys who came to stand on business came in there and stood on business. And they shine. You would think at, Wilder's age now, he understands all that hollering bomb squad, all that sitting there talking all about staring the kid in the face while their father's on the floor shaking while he's dying, You want to kill somebody in the ring, all this bullshit. Okay. Well, now you have a chance to go in the ring March 8th and try to kill Zhang. And I'm just taking my time with this to express all of this because I already know how shit goes, which I don't care about the fanboys jumping there trying to defend him. They can say what they want. You're not going to change my mind with what I see and understand. You're speaking from a fanboy perspective. I'm speaking from a place of realness. And there's no reason that this dude should not fight Zhang. If he don't fight Zhang, there's 3 fighters in a row that he's ducked. Zhang, Ruiz, and Parker. He didn't select Parker. The Saudis did. He thought that was a cakewalk. And after he realized it wasn't a cakewalk, he only wanted to fight the guy that beat him. He don't even want the rematch. So either Wilder's going to step up, go get his ass whooped like a man, don't make no excuses, walk away from boxing, or sharpen up the best way he can, get back in there, or whatever. It's his career. Or he's going to fade away. Because nobody is going to be willing to put money up for a has-been. Because the longer he sits back and not fight, what is he going to just keep every year? That's his excuse for getting his ass whooped? Ring rust? Or stop taking long breaks and layoffs from boxing? Mr. I'm a happy fighter. I got to get my killer instinct back. Let me tell you something, man. And anybody who's ever done this, you know. You can box. You can be out here playing basketball all day. Okay, put it like this, because I know a lot of y'all ain't ever fought. You ever played basketball all day? And you leaving from the park, and your whole body, now you before you all leave, your body temperature then went down and everything. Now the tiredness is starting to set in, man, the soreness and all of that. And let's say all of a sudden a dog comes out of nowhere, something happens, and your adrenaline just, whoa, right? Okay, you know what I'm saying. You know this. So that's just spontaneous. So the fact of the matter is, for you to have a 3-month camp or whatever, and you can't tap into your killer instinct, but this is what you chose to do, stop calling yourself a warrior. Because warriors don't go to war and sit there and go, oh, I'm sorry. I lost my killer instinct. Yeah, that's why I got stabbed with this spear. And then just die, like in the movies, right? That's not what warriors do, man. Warriors don't make excuses. As I said before, you know in that gym, in training, when you're ready and when you're not. You know it in training. What the fuck is all the training for? The fight is the easy part. That's what you're training for. I'm prepared. I'm well prepared for this. This is what I've been training for. Okay? And not that the fight is necessarily going to be easy, but that's what you prepared for. So all the fuck ups and mistakes or whatever the fuck, that's what happens in training. And you correct that shit. Things that you forgot that you have to be reminded of, that's what the training is for. Unfortunately for you, you don't respect a good trainer. And that's why you have that lazy ass fucking, look how fat Malik Scott then got, man. That's why all he tells me on a picture with the damn cigars or his girlfriend pinching his nipples with her toes and all this goofy shit. This is what you got as a trainer, your brethren, your brother. So that's your mistake, man. That's your bad decision. But what you need to do is fight Zhang. And I'm going to keep stressing this shit until you do. And all I'm saying is if you don't, just be a man and tell the truth. I'm scared of Zhang. I don't think I can beat him. Imagine if he said, I don't think I should have to fight Zhang to prove anything. I should be able to pick who I want to fight. Would y'all still respect that? Well, I already know. I'm not asking this fanboy. It's really a rhetorical question. Because I already know I already know how the Wildettes are. Zhang has signed. Wilder hasn't. And I'm saying this because Wilder's the type of person who hasn't signed, will go on 70 Sports tomorrow and go, man, they don't want this fight. I know. You know why they signed it? They know they don't really want the fight because they know that as soon as you sign it, they're going to erase their names off. Yeah, they'll find some stupid, goofy-ass way to try to support his dumb shit. You're the one that didn't sign, but somehow Zhang running from you. You'll find any excuse, and this is what I'm saying. And your fanboys they're so stupid that they'll accept whatever you say. Fight Zhang or shut the fuck up with this. I haven't gotten the same opportunities that AJ has. When we witness you turning fights down, we witness you threatening to freeze people out. Do you understand that? Yeah, you told Dylan White, I'll freeze you out for 2 years. And he posted the tweet and he showed the board that those two guys over there, Barack and whoever at the zone. You know it. You know it. You turned the fight down with AJ multiple times. Multiple times. And you so arrogant and foolish at the same time. You posted your own words and went on video to say you told Fury, AJ offered me a whole lot more money to fight him than I am fighting against you. But I'm a man of my word. You told on yourself. Your fanboys clearly sit there and act like they don't remember that shit. If that was shoe on the other foot, and Anthony Joshua told somebody, hey man, Deontay Wilder offered me way more money to fight him than what I'm making fighting you, but I'm a man of my word. You don't think they'd be all over that shit? Come on. We know that Wilder fans are just like most typical fans. They are biased and take sides, but you motherfuckers are just some liars, man. And let's be honest. If Deontay Wilder can open his mouth to say at the end of the day, your management team worked for you, so if a fight don't happen, right? It's because the fighter don't want it. And you motherfuckers sit here and because he was trying to make y'all think AJ was ducking him. But you clearly watch this man. You watch him sit on the video and turn down Andy Ruiz. You watch him sit there and talk about how he don't want to fight Parker. He sit there and say he don't want to fight Dylan White. Dylan White's style is easy to beat, blah, blah, blah. He said Joseph Parker was not confident as a champion. So how are you going to be confident as a challenger? I don't understand that, which just made no sense to me because I'm like, Joseph Parker's not even as good now as he was before. So if that's what you're trying not to say, okay, well, yeah, he was a better fighter than he is before. But that let me know you thought you had an easy night, right? All the things I'm saying, if it was coming out of AJ's mouth or some other fighter that you don't like, y'all be saying the same shit. But it just so happened yours truly, Deontay Wilder, is the culprit in this, right? Y'all can make all the excuses y'all want. But here's the real deal is, if you want to see him on this next card in Saudi, I'm being straight up. Y'all should ask him, Wilder, why haven't you signed a fight yet with Zhang? What's up? Now, if he jump on somebody else's show or go back on 78 Sports or whatever to come up with some sob story, part 3, part 10, part whatever, because that's what he does. He avoid everybody else, but go on these channels that want to basically show him favor. And he come up with some bullshit excuse, it don't matter. All that means is just what I told you. He's just going to fade away. And nobody wants to play these fucking foolish games with him. These people are not giving you millions of dollars. They want you to earn your money. All right? Simple. You already got one fool over here carjacking a fucking truck after he didn't just sit here and made $4.8 million or 4.7 or whatever it was. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Wilder got a whole lot more than that to fight Parker. And the fact that they gave him a multi-million-dollar deal, and how they give you Zhang, and you said you want to fight nothing but the best fighters, now's your chance to step up and prove it. The opportunity's there. All you got to do is sign your name. You do know how to spell your name, right? That's all you have to do. Sign your name. See, I'm already knowing before and after there's going to be a million excuses. Nothing new. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Tell me what y'all think about Wilder waiting so long to sign his fight. Sign his contract to fight Zhang. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And I will catch y'all on the next video.